Oh my god, had to do all the shit last night because I'm going to be busy out today, so I've got all this done in time, and it's now time for my week 10 picks of the 2020 NFL season. As last week, oh man, I went 9-5. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight weeks of under 10 wins. I was doing so good until the Sunday night and Monday night game, so that ruined it for me, sadly. That was really annoying how that happened. And of course, here is the current regular season playoff standings at the season end today. In the AFC, it's the Steelers with the bye, as Dolphins at Chiefs, Raiders at Bills, and Ravens at Titans. And in the NFC, it's Saints with the bye, with Rams at Seahawks, Cardinals at Packers, and Buccaneers at Eagles. And my Super Bowl prediction right now would be the Saints against the Steelers. So now, let's get to the week 10 picks as we come down here. As we start off with Thursday night, big one in the AFC South is the Colts are at the Titans. Titans won the last one. I don't know why I didn't put the 1 in, as they won the recent one. Colts haven't beaten them since 2019. And the Titans haven't beaten the Colts in Nashville, or wherever it was at, since 2017. As whoever wins this will have the lead in the AFC South. As the Colts, their defense played very good against the Ravens in the first half, but then they shat the bed after that. Had the chance, but blew it. The Titans, meanwhile, beat the Bears, although it should not have been as close as it was. It was a blowout, if I remember correctly, but then the Bears, of course, tried to make their comebacks. Oh, boy. I'm not fully sure about the Titans if they're really legit yet, especially since when you look at these stats. The Colts' defense, though, is definitely legit, but their offense is a major, major, major problem. And I really don't know what to say. I was hoping that if the Colts beat the Ravens, maybe it would convince me that I would probably pick the Colts. But not only did they lose, but the way they lost really lowered my thoughts of them maybe getting this. But I'm not really sold on the Titans much either. Oh boy, but since I think I trust the Titans offense more than I trust the Colts, especially since I think the Titans offense maybe occasionally could put up some fight against the Colts defense, I'll probably pick the Titans in this one. Maybe if the Colts actually won against the Ravens, maybe I probably would have picked them instead, or at least convincingly win. So then we get to our Sunday games, as it'll be the Eagles at the Giants, as the Eagles, of course, won the last 9. The Giants haven't beaten them since 2016. Their rematch from that Thursday night game a few weeks ago. As the Eagles were on their bye week, yeah, that Giants game, if I'm correct, was the last game they played. So, no, it was a few weeks ago. But yeah, they beat the Cowboys in their last game. That's right, I remember. 23-9. And the Giants managed to sweep the football team again, as they haven't beaten the Eagles since 2016. And the last time they played was really close. Maybe it can come down to the wire again this time. And I actually will pick the Giants for this one. Let's see how the Eagles will do from off their bye. Maybe they get to 500. But we'll see about that. Then it's the Jaguars with the Packers for the first time since 2012, as the Packers won the last 2. The Jaguars haven't won since 2008 and 2004 in Lambeau, as they didn't start Minshew Magic, I believe, last week. And, of course, they've lost another game to the Texans, a close one. They blew the 2-point conversion to tie it up. And the Packers got their revenge on the 49ers from the NFC Championship and get regular season game last year. They're now 6-2. Looking really dominant, and of course against the bad Jaguars. I mean, come on, man. It was pretty obvious I'm picking the Packers to get this one. That's the football team at the Lions. For the first time since 2016, the football team won the recent game. The Lions haven't won since 2016, and the football team hasn't beaten them in Detroit since 2004. So the football team, once again, lost a close one to the Giants, and the Lions got spanked by the Vikings, as, oh god, that was ugly. As this is going to probably be ugly as hell. Like, look at the football team's offensive stats. They're still garbage, like one of the worst in the league. Their defense, though, is actually pretty good, surprisingly, but I think that's more because they're playing in the NFC least, so their offensive opponents they have to face are terrible. I'm picking the Lions for this, unless the football team puts up an offensive showing. I'm pretty sure Alex Smith is probably going to be a starter now, unless they put Haskins back in, but knowing them, I doubt they'll do that. Then it's the Texans at the Browns for the first time since 2014, if I remember correctly. As the Texans won the last 5, The Browns haven't beaten them since 2007. The Texans, of course, beat the Jaguars in a close one last week. And then the Browns, of course, were on their bye as they lost to the Raiders 2 weeks ago. Need to keep winning if they want to make the playoffs this year. And the Texans need a lot of winning to get back into the playoff race. Of course, I believe maybe Nick Chubb would be back for the Browns. I'm not fully sure on that. Although it's going to suck without Odell. At home, maybe Chubb will be back, so I'm picking the Browns for this. Then we go down to the final 1 p.m. game as Buccaneers are at the Panthers, as the Buccaneers won the last one. The Panthers haven't beaten them at home since 2018. As the Buccaneers, what the absolute fuck was that? What was that? 38-3 against the Saints and Brady for 3 interceptions. What the fuck was that? That's all I gotta say. What was that? Oh my god, that was embarrassing. Jesus, that was utterly embarrassing. And the Panthers, on the other hand, they lost 4 in a row now. But hey, unlike the Buccaneers, they actually put up a good fight against the defending champs. So it's like I don't know what to say about the Panthers. I still think they're in a rebuild, and their record's starting to show, but they're at least being competitive. So I really don't know what to say. But you know what? After seeing how bad they played, and how pretty good the Panthers have played recently, especially against the defending champs and the Saints, I'm going to pick the Panthers to beat the Buccaneers in an upset. How about that? Then we get to our 4 p.m. games, as it starts off with the Chargers at the Dolphins for the 2nd year in a row, as the Chargers won that one. The Dolphins haven't beaten them since 2017 and 2014 when they host. As once again, the Chargers, they can't stop blowing games, as they blew it against the Raiders. And the Dolphins, just like I predicted, they beat the Dolphins in an offensive shootout, as they've now won 4 in a row. They've matched their win total from last year already, as they are in the playoffs at the season end of the day. As they're looking really good right now. Tua's looking good after that impressive game last week. So I'm picking the Dolphins for this, since the Chargers can't ever win games, apparently. Then we get to the big one, which honestly should have been Sunday night instead, as the Bills are at the Cardinals for the first time since 2012. The Bills have won the last 2. The Cardinals haven't beaten them since that thrashing they gave the Bills their first loss in 2008. As the Bills, oh my god, that was a needed victory against the Seahawks. Not only did they win, but it was an impressive win too. Josh Allen looked like back to his former early self of this year. Cardinals had a chance, but they just couldn't beat the Dolphins, as I predicted too. As this could actually be an even bigger offensive showcase than the Dolphins one, as the Bills have an offense that's crazy as well. Look at those stats the Bills and Cardinals have an offense. Their defense isn't really that good either, so it really could show up. And this time, even though I'm pretty sure I know for a fact if this was an offensive shootout, the Bills would win it, but I think the Cardinals are going to get it after they lost to the Dolphins last week and turn it around. Also, I'm not fully sure if I would see the Bills being good enough to be 8-2. Then it's the 49ers at the Saints for the 2nd year in a row. And a rematch from an incredible game last year. Remember, 48-46 or something like that? As the Saints, the 49ers won the last one. The Saints haven't beaten them since 2016 and 2013 when they host them. As the 49ers lost 2 in a row now. They got destroyed by the Packers in their rematch. And now they got to go to the Saints, who's going to want revenge from that game last year, as the Saints destroyed the Buccaneers. An impressive victory. And I'm going to pick the Saints for this one, unless the 49ers pull off some incredible magic like they did last year's game. Alright, now we get down, keep going down, as it's the Seahawks at the Rams with the NFC West on the line. The Rams won the last game. Seahawks haven't beaten them since 2019 and 2017 when they're in Los Angeles. As the Seahawks, of course, like I said, their offense is legit, but their defense is garbage. Literally garbage. The only thing that's saving grace for them is Russell Wilson. That is it. This would honestly probably be a team with a losing record if it wasn't for him. Meanwhile, the Rams were on their bye, as last time they got trashed by the Dolphins. That was embarrassing how they lost that. Now, their defense is really good, like elite, but I think that's more because inflation from their bye and playing the Dolphins, who they lost not because of like offense, but because of their turnovers. Oh boy, this is going to be crazy. A lot of these games have been pretty close the last few years between these two, but I'm going to pick the Rams for this. Because Jared Goff and that offense can put up some points, and they have a defense that could probably give Russell Wilson some trouble, as the Seahawks are starting to show their weakness these last 3 weeks. They went 1-2, and I'm picking the Rams to get it. Then it's the Bengals at the Steelers, as the Steelers try to go 9-0 for the first time ever and get the first win in season since 2018. The Steelers have won the last 9. The Bengals haven't beaten them since 2015, as the Bengals were on their bye, as they did that impressive victory on the Titans. And the Steelers, I fucking called it, as always. They always struggle against very bad teams. How the hell did you barely beat the Cowboys? You should have destroyed them. But no, they barely got it. But unfortunately for the Steelers, Big Ben not only got injured, but is on the COVID list. So I'm pretty sure that means he's not playing this week. And they're lucky that they're hosting the Bengals, and the Bengals are not that good, because I'm still going to pick the Steelers to get this. But I will not be surprised if the Bengals somehow pull off an upset to give the Steelers their first loss. And it's the Broncos at the Raiders, as the Broncos won the last one. Raiders haven't beaten them since 2019, and they haven't beaten the Broncos at home since 2015. As the Broncos lost to the Falcons, the Raiders managed to hold on and beat the Chargers, as they won, what was it now, 2 in a row, and they'd be in the playoffs right now at the season end of the day. Still not sold yet if they're a legit team, but hey, right now they're in it, and they're at home against should be an easy opponent for them to get in. So I'm going to pick the Raiders to get this one, and we'll see if they can get the 6-3. Then it's Sunday night, of course, which I don't know why they kept this in. They should have took it out for Bills and Cardinals, as the Ravens are at the Patriots for the first time since 2016. Ravens won the last one. They haven't beaten the Patriots. The Patriots haven't beaten the Ravens since 2016. And even though the Ravens beat the Patriots in the Foxborough in the playoffs twice, they have never beaten the Patriots in Foxborough in the regular season. 24 years of wait, and maybe it'll happen this week. As the Ravens, oh my God, they looked so bad against the Colts, but then the second half happened, and then they destroyed them. That still isn't good, though. The team is nowhere near as good as last year. Look at that, passing worst in the league. That is definitely not good. And the Patriots barely beat the Jets, as I called it. I called that the Jets were going to beat the Patriots, and they almost did, as the Patriots almost didn't show up, but they held on for the win. This could be mostly Russian offense, too, in this one, unless Lamar decides to show up. I'm picking the Ravens for this. Can't really see how the Patriots are going to do this unless the Ravens decide to choke, as always. And then we get to Monday night, as the Vikings are at the Bears. As the Bears won the last 4, the Vikings haven't beaten them since 2017. As the Vikings beat the Vikings pretty handily. Hey, they've won 2 in a row now. Now they're starting to get back in the mix, especially in the division. That would be a big one if they could win a 3rd row in the division. As the Bears, as I said, all smoke and mirrors, as they've now lost 3 in a row, lost to the Titans, and now they're out of the playoff race right now, as that magic is disappeared. This could be a close one, but with the momentum on their side, I'm going to pick the Vikings to get this one. And of course, watch they'll choke against the Bears. So, those are my picks for week 10. I cannot wait for Colts and Titans tonight. So my picks are Titans beating the Colts, Giants over the Eagles, Jaguars over the Packers, Lions over the football team, Browns over the Texans, Panthers over the Buccaneers, Dolphins over the Chargers, Cardinals over the Bills, Saints over the 49ers, Rams over the Seahawks, Steelers over the Bengals, Raiders over the Broncos, Ravens over the Patriots, and Vikings over the Bears. So see you guys next time for Week 11.